step. Hello everyone. So I am again here with a very important video. So in this one we are going to cover 25th October 2025 real exam reading. So let's get straight into it. So the name of the passage was long-term forecast. And let's see what the question types are. So first of all, there were complete the flow chart below, no more than 3 words. That means you have to fill up with 3 words, 2 words, or maybe 1 word. And then this is a flow chart, and then there is which paragraph contains the following information. So there are 4 questions, and then this is again a summary. So you have to fill these up, and then these are the hints. So you can take hint and then fill. All right, so this is a recent exam reading. So I will suggest you to attempt this one so that you can understand and get to know, at what level you are currently standing. So let's get straight into it, and we have to solve this flow chart first. So let's understand what the demand of the question is. So we'll start with 27th. So they'll be talking about productive land multiple causes. Okay, so they will be talking about causes. Degradation. Okay, so they will be talking about degradation, and there are multiple causes of degradation. And the question says degradation proceeds at dash. Okay, so we have to find the word degradation. All right, let's see. Melting land ice in the Arctic is said to cause a global rise in sea level, leading to disastrous effects for both man and wildlife. Okay. Many species worldwide are threatened with extinction, and low-lying islands and land masses will disappear entirely, but the havoc wreaked by the effect of greenhouse gases won't be confined to just too much water. So they're not talking anything about degradation. Let's find the word degradation. A decrease in the total amount of rainfall in arid and semi-arid areas could increase the total area of dry land worldwide, and thus the total amount of land potentially at risk from desertification. Okay, degradation. So they're not talking anything about degradation yet. Let's read paragraph 2. Desertification is officially desertification. Okay, so they're talking about desertification. Let's see. Desertification is officially recognized as land degradation in arid, semi-arid and dry urban humid area resulting from various factors including climatic variation and human activities. This degradation of formerly productive land is a complex process. Okay, it involves multiple causes. Okay, so they're talking about causes. That means here is the location, and it proceeds at varying rates. Okay, so they are talking degradation. So they're talking about degradation. That means they are talking about degradation. This degradation, and they say that degradation proceeds at. So proceeds is a word already there. At is a word already there. So the answer will be varying rates. Varying rates. Let's see second one, desertification. Okay, so in this one itself, they're talking about desertification. So desertification is a dash a climate trend and dash a change in climate. Okay, so we have to find these words climate trend or a change in climate. Okay. Desertification may intensify. Desertification, they're talking about desertification. Desertification may intensify a general climatic trend. Okay, so they're talking about climatic trend or initiate a change in local climate. Change in climate. Okay, so they are also talking about change in climate. Okay, so a general climate trend is already a word there. So the answer is may intensify a general climatic trend. So the answer is intensify a general climate trend or initiate a change in local climate. Change in climate is already there. So the answer will be initiate. Initiate. So here it's intensify and here it's initiate. So see, it is not very difficult because we are able to find 3 answers altogether. Because flowchart questions are generally in sequence and they are, they can be found all together. Resulting in greater, that means these 2 things are happening and the result of these two things is this one, 30th. So which is greater, resulting in greater dash. Okay, so we have to find the result. Both leading towards greater aridity. Okay, so they're saying that these two things are happening and both these things are resulting in greater dash. So both leading towards. So the synonym for resulting is leading towards, and the word greater is already there. So the answer is 30th. Answer for 30th is aridity. All right. So aridity and after that depletion of dash and depletion of dash. Okay, so we have to find these two things, depletion of one and depletion of two. So we have to find the word depletion. Okay, the right, depletion. The more arid conditions associated with desertification accelerate the depletion of vegetation and soil. So they are written all together. One answer is vegetation and the other one is soil, because they're saying that because of this thing, depletion of vegetation and soils is happening. So depletion of one is vegetation and depletion of another is soil. So you can write depletion of soil and vegetation this way around as well. All right, all good. So we are done with the, I think it's just 5 minutes into the reading, 5 to 7 minutes, and we are able to do this one. So we are able to maintain the pace. Let's see, another thing is which paragraph contains the following information. So these are okay. So we have already read paragraph 1 and 2. Let's see if we are able to find any one of these ones, because this says which paragraph contains the following information. So this is a sentence. So they are saying that in which paragraph this sentence is there. So we have already read paragraph 1 and 2. Let's see, human intervention is a potential solution to potential disaster. So they are talking about disaster, that is desertification or something, a bad thing, but they're not talking anything about solution. So solution is probably in the last paragraph or the second last, and they're not talking about human intervention. The rate of climate change is set to accelerate dramatically. Rate of climate change. They are talking about climate change. They are also talking about rate. The climate change at a varying rate. They are also talking about rate. Yes, they are talking about the rate of climate change. So the answer could be B, but they're not talking about this thing. They are not talking that it is set to. It is set to means they're talking something about future. They're making some kind of prediction. In B paragraph, let's see if we are able to find prediction. If there is any word like will, prediction, or anticipated, no. Okay, so they're not talking about prediction to set accelerate dramatically, means to increase significantly, and they are not even talking about this dramatic acceleration. So yes, they are talking about rate of climate change. So if we are not able to find these things in any of the remaining paragraphs, then the answer will definitely be B. That's the second paragraph. But as of now, I'm not, finalizing it. So maybe the answer is second. There is seldom enough information available in some areas to track how fast the effect of climate change have happened in the past. So they're not talking anything about information. Okay. Desertification is attributable to a number of factors. Yes, so they are talking about desertification and they are also talking about number of factors, because we did this, what we say, flow chart, and they are talking about multiple causes. Causes means the factors. And yes, we found the causes of desertification here, that these are all the, causes of desertification. So the answer to 10th is B. Oh, all right. Let's see. So we are not able to find 7, 8, 9, but simultaneously we'll also find answers to these ones. This is also complete the summary. So how to do these, which paragraph contains the following information? Because to find which, to find this information, you have to find the, you have to read the entire paragraph. So it's not like, we'll read paragraph 3 entirely to find answers to these ones. No, we'll take, these ones also into our consideration. So what we'll do is we'll read paragraph 3 to find answers to these ones. And once we are done reading paragraph 3, then we will move towards these questions to see that, whether we are able to find any information related. All right. Climate, so let's do these ones because we have already, read paragraph 1 and 2. We are not able to find anything related to these ones, but maybe let's see the summary. If anything is there in paragraph 1 and 2. Climate change may have catastrophic effects. Okay. Climate change may have catastrophic effects on human and animal world. So in the starting itself, they were talking about human and wildlife, the human and animal world, the synonym. As glaciers melt, sea levels will rise, causing extensive flooding and land dash. So they were talking about flooding thing here. So they're talking about rainfall, not flooding particularly. Melting land ice. Melting land ice. So if the ice will melt, then there will be a global rise in sea level. Okay, that means something related to flooding. Glaciers melt. So they are talking about melting land ice. That means glacier melt. Sea levels will rise means global sea level rise. Okay, so they're talking about this one. That means the location is here, causing extensive flooding and land dash. That means this is the reason that sea levels will rise, causing whenever there is a comma and then ing, that means it's a result. So we have to find the result that because of sea levels rise, what's happening? Causing extensive flooding and land dash. Okay, let's see. Let's find a word which justifies that this is the result. This is the bad impact. Let's read. Many species worldwide are threatened with extinction, and low-lying islands and landmasses will disappear. Okay, so we have to find and land dash. That means let's make an intelligent guess. Land dash. So because sea levels are rising, so there are two drawbacks. One is flooding, and the other will definitely be a negative thing. So try to find a negative word. Irrigation, cooling, dry land, loss. Yes, so loss is a negative word, and abuse is also a negative one. It could be a land loss or a land abuse, but let's see what the correct answer is. A decrease in total amount of rainfall in arid and semi-arid areas could increase the total area of dry land worldwide, and thus the total amount thus means result. Okay, so they are talking about comma ing means result, and thus also means result. So that means the location is correct. Thus the total amount of land, and then yes, that's great. They are also talking about land. Total amount of land potentially at risk from desertification. So land at risk. Land at risk means land loss. Land abuse means land is, getting used for some bad things or something like that. But if the land is itself getting, hurt from desertification, that means it's a land loss. The amount of land potentially at risk. So when the land is at risk, that means it's land loss. So the answer to 11th is land loss. All right. Let's another consequence of global warming is a dash. So we have to find another consequence of global warming, which affects areas known as dash. Okay, so another consequence of global warming is dash. And because of this consequence, the areas, some particular areas are getting impacted, and they are known as dash, So we have to give a particular word to those areas which are getting impacted from this problem. But first of all, we have to find problem, and this problem is because of global warming, another consequence of global warming. Okay. Okay, let's see. The havoc wreaked by the effect of greenhouse gases won't be confined to just too much water, but the absence of it as well. In other words, desertification, that means there is a too much water. They are talking about too much water, that means flooding. So they are talking about flooding and glacier melting. And here they are talking about decrease in amount of rainfall. That means here they are talking about, lot of rain means flooding and glacier melting. And here they are talking about less rainfall. So that could be the another consequence. Let's see, but okay, but so it's not confined to just too much water, but also absence of it. In other words, desertification. Okay, so flooding will occur, and another the consequences could be desertification. But let's see, a decrease in the amount of rainfall and in arid and semi-arid areas could increase the total area of dry land worldwide, and thus the total amount of land potentially at risk from desertification. Another consequence of global warming is, so we think desertification is the answer. Let's see. So yes, so desertification is there. So the answer could be desertification. But due to desertification, which kind of areas are getting impacted? We have to find that thing also. A decrease in the total amount of rainfall in arid and semi-arid areas could increase the total areas of dry land. Okay, that means if there is a desertification, then these areas, so we have to find a particular area. So let's make some intelligent guess. Area can't be known as irrigation, cooling. Area can be known as dry land. Cause, loss, abuse, area can be known as desert. So the answer could either be desert or dry land. But let's see what they are talking about in terms of desertification. A decrease in the total amount of rainfall in arid and semi-arid areas could increase the total area of dry land. That means if there is a desertification, then there are areas which are potentially at risk from desertification. That means the areas which are at risk from desertification are known as dry lands. So the answer to 13th is C, dry lands. All right. So we're done with this. Cool. Okay. These areas are subject to irregular weather patterns, but also suffer from human intervention or neglect, such as inadequate or ineffective dash. Now to find 14th, we have to find a word human intervention, but let's see if they're talking about human intervention. Land degradation occur at, okay. This is because, okay. Okay, so they're not talking anything about human intervention, so maybe in paragraph 3rd. So before reading paragraph 3rd, you should have clear, questions in mind that yes, I have to find answer to question number 14th, and also I have to take care of these ones if I am able to find any one of these. All right. Okay. So we have to find the word human intervention first of all. And simultaneously yes, for human intervention, we have to find this one as well. So human intervention is a very important word. Let's read. Global warming brought about an increasing greenhouse gas levels in the atmosphere. Many dryland areas face increasingly low and erratic rainfall. Deforestation can also reduce rainfall in certain areas, increasing threat of desertification. It's not yet possible, despite sophisticated technology, to identify an acceptable degree of reliability. Not talking about human intervention, existing dry lands, most significantly, will probably at the risk of from climate change. These areas are already experiencing low rainfall and any these areas usually in addition, such areas also suffer from land degradation due to over cultivation, overgrazing, deforestation, and poor irrigation practices. Okay, deforestation means it's a human practice. So they are over cultivating. Cows are overgrazing, and the irrigation practices are poor. That means this is related to something bad caused by humans. So we were finding the word human intervention, and even here we had to find the word human intervention. But see, there is no word written as human intervention. But when we see that these things are talking about human intervention, not human intervention, basically, they're talking about the bad things which are being done by human. Okay, let's see 14. These areas are subject to irregular weather patterns, but also suffer irregular weather patterns. They were talking about erratic rainfall here. Erratic rainfall means erratic rainfall means irregular rainfall. So irregular, okay, so that means the location is correct, but also suffer from human intervention or neglect, such as inadequate or ineffective. dash systems. Okay, systems. We have to find something related to human. That means the answer is here, and the systems word is synonym for practices, and the synonym for poor is inadequate and ineffective. That means poor irrigation practices means inadequate and ineffective irrigation practices. So practices means system. So the answer is irrigation, but yes, irrigation is there. Yes, irrigation is there, so the answer is A. Cool. So we are able to do all these ones and these ones as well. Just left with these three. All right. Let's see. We are already done with paragraph third. So before moving to paragraph fourth, we'll see if we are able to find any one of these. Human intervention, yes, they are talking about human, what we say, human calamities. Human is, but they say human intervention is a potential solution to a potential disaster. They're talking about disaster, but they're not talking anything about solution. That if human will intervene, then there is a solution. So they're not talking about solution, although they are talking about human thing. So not the correct answer. Let's read 4 if we are able to find anything in this one, because we are done with flowchart and summary. So the answer will be, so we have to find answers to these ones only. So for that one, we have to find, so we have to find the word human intervention, climate change, and enough information. Okay. So we'll just not read the entire thing very carefully, just skip and skim and find these words. Droughts are common in arid, well-managed land, continued land abuse, okay, deserts, areas from natural, okay, so we are not able to find the word human intervention. The presence of nearby desert has no direct relationship. Unfortunately, an area undergoing desertification is brought to public attention only after the process of underway. Okay, human intervention, climate change, nothing. Often little or no data are available to indicate the previous state. Okay, data. Data means information. There is seldom enough information. Means there is very less information. So they are saying little. Okay, so the synonym for this one, seldom enough information, means little information to indicate the previous state of ecosystem or rate of degradation. There is seldom enough information about the some areas to track how fast the effects of climate change have happened in the past. Indicate the previous. Previous means past, effects, rate of degradation, yes. So they are saying that there is very little information about how fast the degradation happened previously. Previously means past. That means the ninth is being talked about in this one, A, B, C, D. So the answer is D. Let's see fifth, human intervention, and then again a dramatic thing we have to find. But the desertification will not be limited to dry lands. Okay, will suffer if the current. So we have to find climate change and human intervention. Different trends. Global temperatures are expected to rise. Are expected means they're talking about prediction. Is set to. Is set to means they're talking about prediction. If they are expecting means expectation. Expected to rise faster. Rise faster means rise means accelerate. Set means expected, and then dramatically. So probably the answer is this one. But let's make it clear: the rate of climate change is set to accelerate dramatically. Are expected to rise faster over the next century. Significant uncertainty. Significant means dramatic. Around the prediction means set to. Will also warm significantly. Okay, yes. So they are talking that the rate of climate change is expected, means is set to rise significantly, to accelerate significantly. That means significantly. So very clearly answer is E. All right. So the last one, human intervention. So let's see if they're talking about. So now, real quick, I'll just try to find the word human intervention. No, human intervention and solution. So solution is probably in these two paragraphs. So firstly, try to find last one, because solution. Human intervention is a potential solution. Future climate change would critically undermine the efforts. It is also vital that developed countries, measures. Yes, there is some scope of adaptation, but the fact that many measures means solution would be beneficial. Our policies means the solution has our policies and practices. It is also vital that developed countries meet their obligation to assist adapting. Okay. However, long-term sustainability of this requires keeping climate change with tolerable bound, current understanding of safe limit point to need the prompt international. So there is an international agreement. That means there is a solution. Make the drastic cut in emitting greenhouse gases required to stabilize atmospheric concentration of gases. Yes, they're talking about solution to this potential disaster, and human intervention means there are international agreement between countries, policies and practices are there. So the answer is probably B, but let's see if there is something in C, if they're talking about human solution. If they're not talking anything about solution in sixth one, that means the answer is seventh. So just skim and skip. So they're not talking about solution. Seventh is then definitely talking about solution. So seventh is G. All right, all good. So we are able to do flow chart and then which paragraph contains and then summary completion also. So that's all for today. So this reading, the name was long-term forecast hot and dry, and this was 25th October 2025 reading exam. So this is a recent exam reading. I will suggest you attempt it and then understand everything in this video so that you can analyze that where you are currently standing, and so that you are able to crack your reading. So this was all for today, and then I will be there with the next recent exam reading soon. So all right, take care and bye for now.